Welcome to Isis in the Bible Spring Gathering, week number 11, Moon Flavor. The question today, what flavor is the full moon on May 31st? Without going to consensus, can you yourself look at the stars in the sky to predict the essence that will be upon us? In other words, we know the moon raises the tides within you, but what will the flavor be? I can tell you that is a very special gateway, portal that is empowering and when you connect with it. So if you could go to Sidereal Lahiri Geocentric, a couple people have, 12 equal houses is presented exactly in the heavens, and you can use our website at iyoutome.com, astrology.html, and set the date to May 31st, 2026, 4:44 a.m., and see what you see. There's a whole bunch going on there. Okay, so what's happening in the sky? This is pretty cool. Have you heard about the implosion in Buffalo, New York, or the western portion of New York? Rosemary shared it this morning. It happened at 5:11 a.m. today. So this is what it says. So here's from Patrick Hammer, video of a meteor streaking through the sky at around 5:15. It's you can see it's 5:11. This morning above western New York, it exploded upon entering the atmosphere, which is all just perception on what's going. So here is a video of it. So we do know that, and we've showed it and have proven it, and time again I've said that's Lilith, the cat, Medusa, Sekhmet. This is asteroid Lilith. What you're seeing right there is from Lilith. At exactly 5:11 a.m., there is Lilith rising in the east. So she's showing a sign before this full moon, because this full moon is happening in her house. So asteroid, they would call that an asteroid. Well, this is the asteroid Lilith. Of course, she didn't come through the atmosphere. She's sending signs. Again, if you understand Medusa and what Medusa means, then you'll understand what Lilith means. It's all about temptations and gifts. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Just a friendly reminder that on June the 5th, Juno goes retrograde. And as you know, Juno creates shingles, skin breaks, measles, all sorts of things that have that. And as we know, we are upon all across the world, measles outbreaks. So those are cleanses. And it happens every time when Juno goes through a retrograde cycle. She's moving forward, back, so you can expect an increase. So if you get skin breaks, you know that it's a cleanse. So today we speak about the full moon essence that many will get signs, depending on their state of mind and their chart. So it's not for everybody, but it all depends. And again, if you've been doing your work, these can definitely be invigorating. So remember, consensus calls them by very generic names, like a blue moon, a second one for the month. No, it depends what's happening in the sky. Every single one has a different essence to it. So we need to know what essences are at play. So although this looks like a busy chart, I'll try to go through it nice and slowly. But the moon will be exactly aligned, royal star, Antares. Okay? And this is important because every culture talks about these four. They all say it differently. And that's in Scorpio. This is Lilith's home. And the sun is exactly aligned Aldebaran, one of the other four royal stars. Antares represents the evangelist, what they call him in the Bible, right? Is Ant Aries, the little head, the one between our legs, the eye of the snake, the fall of Babylon, when we don't understand what we're supposed to do with physical acts and temptations. So the fall of Babylon means the fall of the ego. So royal star Antares is in Scorpio, which is a sacred gateway of overcoming temptations to pass. And when someone mentioned the name, but it's Ophiuchus, and we'll talk about that in a second, is how you overcome this. So Scorpio is Lilith's home, which tests your use of physical actions, especially surrounding the sexual side of things, temptations that way. The question becomes, will you eat the tail or abstain and ascend? The choice is always now. Scorpio's medical influence is sexual organs, the anus, the gallbladder, the whole generative system, and the pelvis. And then royal star Aldebaran is the eye of the bull, the earthen mother. Taurus is the one that grounds your divine birthright. She is the nourishing earth mother, steady and wise. Juno resides here as the guardian of sacred stability. And Taurus's medical influence is the neck, the throat, the gullet, larynx, cerebellum, and the bones of the neck. And somebody just sent me a clip from somebody else saying, hey, it's all really happening in this person's voice. As you know, there's a lot going on with Algol, including Lilith is where? On the 31st, she will be transiting Algol, the throat. So if you're using your throat in a non-loving way, Lilith is going to put some little implosions in there for you. Anyway, so there's a whole lot more going on. There's Venus with Hygeia. That's very cleansing. Where? Right on Canopus and Sirius. Regulus is at play. So Regulus and Fomalhaut is the north node and the south node. But the last thing to hit is the heart. So of these four royal gateways, the last one to hit is the heart, which is the middle point, the point of stillness. So there's a whole lot going on. And there's the big feather we talked about. Okay, there's the big white feather that she mentioned. So this is the four evangelists, the four royal stars that are even depicted on the Egyptian walls. They are really four states of mind, and we'll talk more about that. And you're sovereign, and that's when you got both Marys by your side and a crook and a flail, where you are in charge of your own harvesting, but you got to have these beautiful essences. So by the way, you know who told me to go look that this is coming? The Grackle. The Grackle once again tells me when to look. And then when I do that, I can see something coming. So the four royal stars, which are four states of mind if you want to get into further enlightenment. So four royal stars, Aldebaran is the east, which is the watcher of beginnings. Regulus is the north, the kingship and the heart. Antares is the west, transformations and tests, right? Transformations physically, sexually, right? Abstinence. And Fomalhaut is the south, vision and spiritual purity. And as we know, that is the forgiveness process. So visually, many traditions encoded them as the four corners, the four guardians, the four rivers, the four fixed pillars, the four beasts, the four archangels, the four sons of Horus, four directions, and four seasonal gates. You can see that this is depicted here, although this one's a little bit washed out. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's these four right here, okay? These four watchers. You can't get to that internal consciousness unless you pass these four states of mind. And that's where you can see you're blossoming out, understanding these states of mind. This is all beautiful, folks. Remember, this comes from the scene of the weighing of the heart ceremony. So the common associations, awakening the eye, weighing of the heart, the phoenix death rebirths, the throne, the lion, solar rulership, Fomalhaut, obviously the divine waters, the hidden wisdom, the cosmic womb. You can find these in the current Bibles. The Bible has them as disciples for men, but they're not. It's four states of mind. You can see them all over in churches as the lion, the eagle, which is Scorpio, can be a scorpion there, the bull and the man. So they're shown everywhere. They're shown here. Man is Aquarius, Leo is a lion, eagle, Scorpion, and the bull is Taurus. They appear in Ezekiel's vision, Revelation, cathedral symbolism, and esoteric Christianity. But remember, if you use the lens of a Holy Bible, then you won't get there, because today the Bible and the church is about paying volunteer taxes and people making money, which is we don't want to be about. But they're also found in the Persian Zoroastrian text, the Hebrew Tanakh, obviously in this Christian scriptures and Revelation, Egyptian tradition, indigenous traditions, and yes, even the Quran indirectly speaks of gateways. Surah Al-Araf 7:40 speaks of the gates of heaven will not be opened for them. So if you can't get to these states of mind where you don't have a dirty mouth, a dirty body, and you don't care for everyone, because that's the two this moon is about, the Earth and Mother, the Taurus, the Bull, and to abstain from desires, especially sexual desires, because we're beyond that now. We got to get beyond that. Sex is not a sport. So, and also in Surah Al-Ahir 15, 14, and 15, even if we opened for them a gate from the heaven and they continued to ascend through it. So they talk about it. So we've showed you this before, but this is what it's about. Taurus is nurturing stability. And this self-guidance, this is when you slay the head of Medusa. Slaying the head of the Medusa represents slaying the temptations, when you slay your own temptations. And Scorpio is Antares, transcendent abstinence, and that's Ophiuchus, is the higher constellation, because these are the higher constellations going towards Polaris, towards the middle point, towards stillness, and this is healing wisdom. So it's these four essences, including, so the moon is going to be on these two essences. So these should be the focus. If people aren't focused here, they're going to get signs that they need to focus. I know of people that are not in that state of mind and are literally passing out. Literally, stuff's happening to them. And these alignments are at play in their chart. We have to come to spirit, folks. We're humans having a spiritual experience, but the human ego has to go away, the fall of Babylon. So the other two is Regulus, compassionate bravery, which will come into play, and so will Fomalhaut as the north and south node transited. Compassionate bravery and self-forgiveness, the 5-step forgiveness process, to which Ursa Major and Pegasus are the closer constellations when we rise up. So again, it's just states of mind. So those light energies are there for a reason. They're there to tune us in through Mother Nature, giving us signs so that we know how to rise. Really, it's really inward. So just a couple of quick slides, the depictions from different cultures that show you that, okay, so these ones had, see, the man, the eagle, that's the lion, and then the bull. So you can see them in all kinds of different depictions all around. There's the eagle, Scorpio. There's the man, which is Aquarius. There's the lion. There's the bull. So that, again, that full moon is going across these two, the bull and Scorpio. They got these, they don't have these separated properly. But as you see, the man's coming out of a womb, right? Right. Again, and the one where they're getting all this from is the Dendra Zodiac at the Hathor Temple in Egypt. You can show, they show the 4 gateways. They show 4 women, right? The 4 canopic shrine. They protect the point in the middle, because the point in the middle, the closer you get to the point in the middle, the only way you can get there is love, because as you know, the point in the middle is love, is the ether, is the stillness. So it's there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, where these have men crossing arms. And of course, the 4 races of the Hopi. And we showed you this before, that actually the stars map the lands, and you can see the Indian is where Taurus is at, which is where the American India is at. And there's the man where the lion's at, where Leo's at, right? There's Africa where the lion's at, isn't it? So the stars map the lands. And here we go, China, Scorpios. They eat scorpions in China, don't they? They got to stop doing that. They got to stop eating the scorpions, man. They're going to get signs like there's no tomorrow. So there you have the 4 races in the Hopi prophecy, but they're it's kind of misconstruing it a little bit, what they mean. So again, a quick recap. This full moon on May 31st is symbolically potent because the moon is near royal star Antares. That's the abstinence. And Aldebaran, the earth and mother, nurturing for everyone and all living beings. right? So that opposition, so it naturally evokes gateways, balancing, weighing, transitions, karmic testing, transformation, and revelation. So again, Lilith is who? Lilith is Sekhmet. On the Egyptian walls is Sekhmet, cobras, and which is Medusa. Medusa's got snakes on her head, right? But remember, it's not if you look me in the eyes, you turn to stone. It's, hey, big fella, if you don't look me in the eyes and you have nothing but sexual temptations in your eyes, I pull the snake. That's what this is really about, folks. It truly is. They have this, the two cobras coming out of the, what this means, this is exactly what's happening in the sky. This point in the middle cannot be reached. You can get close to it with love, but if you're not full of love, the cobra takes you out. You eclipse. Because that's what's shown here and under a ferrule cell of a magnet. You'll see the two entrance points to the one point in the middle, because that's looking at it on its side. Kind of looks like an owl, right? So you can get really close to where the bright light is. You can never get to the middle because that's stillness. You're only there when you're transiting, when you're moving from body to body. So you have to wear the cobra on your third eye. You have to master these things, and that's where the vulture also, it means stillness, right? Because the vulture does immaculate conceptions. It's black, it doesn't make any waves, where the cobra makes waves. It makes sine waves, sin waves. So just to remember, it's about states of mind. It's all it is. It's really simple. Astrology only points to the states of mind and the symbols and cleanses we will get so that we reach enlightenment, because we have no choice. We all will. So that's all we have for today.